Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Rosetta. Joe here. Thank you all for tuning in once again. What a week it was in crypto last week, and again it's Monday, starting the fresh week. I think there's lots more action to come. Now, last week, unable to get a video out, doing a lot of traveling around for business, but was able to stay in contact with the community when everything was going down with Binance. Now, been given a lot of warnings all year, all bear market for everyone who's been following us about Binance, BNB. All the news that came out caught a lot of people once again off guard. It was absolutely no surprise, no shock to us in our community at Crypto Rosetta. So, been saying how bad the charts had been looking. Been also saying that I didn't think all the news that was going on with the SEC had finished. I still thought, yes, it had gone quiet. Yes, a lot of people were getting distracted about, potential Bitcoin ETFs and what BlackRock was doing, and forgetting that these charges were still laying down on Binance and others. So some people may be shocked that CZ's gone. Now there's a new CEO at Binance. Again, impossible to predict exactly the timing of when these things were going to happen, but it's no shock that it's coming. I still think that that chart is in trouble, and we'll take a look at that on this video. Now, Bitcoin didn't really react much at all to the Binance news last week, but I still thought that, all part of the distribution play was going to continue to chop in that range and continue to eventually trickle down once it leaves the current range. It kind of feels that a lot of people are long and late in this market, fully expecting north of $40,000, which of course can play out, but not my primary expectation at the moment. I kind of felt, and again, I mentioned this in the Discord a few days. If you want to join our Discord for free, links in the description below. And if you want to join our trading tier, again, links in the description on how to do that. I mentioned to the guys that I kind of felt that those longs were coming in, almost feeling like 40k was just going to be given to them with ease. And sometimes these markets don't allow it. That's just kind of what I was smelling, that thinking maybe this round about this 38.5 could be the top. Now, again, we can still go to 39k or higher as part of distribution, but we still would be looking for a breakdown soon whenever that top is reached, if it's not already in. Now, let's take a look at this chart, because again, this chart is, a few weeks old now. I did say it was going to take time to play out. I know some of you are probably sick of seeing it, but the point I really want to make is that it's not changing. Things are playing out nicely in the bearish scenario still, without the bulls breaking into that distribution invalidation range and, starting to consolidate up there. This is still very much in play. I added a few videos ago that I mentioned about this chop before the drop area, which should play out in the distribution schematic. Find a sort of top around about that 38,500. If that's what's going to hold, come back down, come back about $1,500, $2,000, then go back up, then come back down, then go back up, then come back down. Eventually, we are going to break a certain level of support, in my opinion. 33,000 will be a key area. Once that's break, I think we should hit that 31 or a retest. That is going to be a huge area to defend for the Bulls. And I do think it will be defended. I do think, we will bounce from there. We'll have to see how it plays out. That's kind of what I'm expecting. But it's whether that bounce ends up being a lower high on the way down, or if it can quickly rally, reclaim those losses, get back above 38, and then head up to 40. And it is bull market time is on from there. But let's see when we get there. Again, some people think, we could just go straight up from here. That's not normally how these markets work. I'm not saying that we are not potentially in a low time frame bullish environment. We still very much could be, like we have been in the previous weeks running into this. It's very hard to, invalidate one way or the other if that period is over. But for me, 38k now range is the major resistance. Let's see, how it plays out. Now, moving on, I want to talk about BNB, because again, this chart again once has not changed. I mentioned $270 was the area for those bulls to reclaim, and I think it's very telling that the market makers, that we kind of got scam pumped straight up to that area. I think it was about 270, 271, whatever it was, and then got instantly rejected before the news. Isn't it very convenient how there's always a little mini scam pump just before the news drops? Exactly the same sort of play that we kind of seen back over here in November 22. We had this, spike that, CZ was going to save FTX and BNB was going to do, Binance was going to do all these wonderful things. We had that scam pump, took us back almost to, $400. I actually got short on there for those who can remember that far back, and made some very nice gains short and that all the way down back below sort of $230. We had a very fast sell-off once it became apparent that Binance wasn't going to save FTX, and then the FTX crashed with the whole rest of the market. So again, scam pump before the news, and then the news dumps it. Very similar thing to what we've seen. So, this is when I always talk about the scam market, guys. Just be careful. Just to, reiterate that there's so much manipulation at the top in this space. If anyone's out there thinking that these, market makers aren't all part of this, already know what's coming, already fully expecting the candles that are going to come out. Well, I think you need a reality check. I think the charts kind of prove it in my opinion. But you may have a completely different opinion. Leave us a comment below. Now, lower targets if this does break down. If this is just a huge macro ABC breaking out of the sort of the bear flag B wave, if you like, breaking down. I do think I'm still expecting two-figure Binance before this bear market is over. However, it is going to in all likeliness, not necessarily, but all likeliness, it's probably going to need Bitcoin and the wider market to break down and correct also. But could just some more really bad news just solely for Binance play out? It's possible. If that played out though, I would expect altcoins to go down also. And I think it's interesting to kind of see that where we've had this pump up to that key $270 area now get rejected. It also kind of feels that a lot of altcoins have had great runs, potential distribution patterns playing out themselves, potential, rallies, strong pumps that people are getting super excited about, but maybe they are just, bear market rallies to, not send them to new highs and add to this distribution. And if the market goes down with Binance, then I think it's going to potentially hurt a lot of these altcoins. Now, before we move on, just wanted to talk about CryptComps, guys, because we've still got two competitions running, competition 8 and competition 9. Competition 8, you can win up to £10,000 worth of any cryptocurrency, so check out cryptcomps.com. You've also got competition 9 where you can win up to £1,000 cheaper tickets. You got better odds of winning, but we do have the best odds of any crypto competition site out there that I found. Again, don't just take my word for it, go do your own research on that. And it's an independent regulated third party that does the draw. We cannot fix the draw of who wins these competitions. We've got fully verified winners in the past, so go check out cryptcomps.com if fancy a chance at winning some crypto, which you can hodl, and what a prize that could be for you down the line. Now, heading back to the charts, wanted to talk about Solana, because this is one of two coins I mentioned. I mentioned Solana and Render in our trading zone that I thought a potential decent risk reward shorts at these current levels because of just the rips that they've been on. And again, it was always going to be very hard to predict. It's very difficult shorting, trying to find that top when that a lot of people are coming in short and early, and the exchanges are further looking to just squeeze those short liquidations. But once all those shorts are taken out, which I do think a lot of shorts have been taken out on a lot of coins, Bitcoin, etc., it could be time to come get those late long. So that's kind of what I feel maybe potentially playing out on Solana. So again, for Solana, decent value in the high 50s, $60 if you got an entry there. But if the top has been reached, and again, it's a big if. Also, if we don't get up there, $75 is probably going to be the next target if the high isn't in my opinion. But if the high is in, let's just go with that for the moment. Then I'm expecting a retrace back. First of all, $48 is going to be your first target of support for a bounce. Once that break, we're coming back in, into this sort of $30 area. That is my minimum expectation. No matter if Solana does manage to get higher, get up to $75, I still think either way, I wouldn't personally be buying it, and of course, none of this is financial advice. You've got to make your own decisions. But if you're really long term bullish on Solana, and you haven't got a position yet, I just would not be buying north of $30 north of $35 in my opinion. I would be absolutely stunned if we don't come back to fill some of these areas because we're seeing this really strong pump up, but charts history. It's normally how these markets work, guys. We got areas to backfill. We've got late longs to take out. So that's kind of the play I'm expecting on Solana. If that $32 area is to break though, again, we've got a huge range here between sort of 32 and $17, but I think that the lower end of that is gonna, probably be tested if $32 doesn't hold on Solana. But if I was taking a swing short on Solana right now, I wouldn't be personally looking to hold that long. As you can see here on the trade idea I've mentioned, take profits earlier. Always good to lock in gains, shorting. If you're long in, you can potentially hold it as a sort of hodl long, if you like. You're looking to hold that position for a long time. But with the way the markets move, guys, shorting, I tend to say, lock in gains earlier, get your stop loss down, get your stop loss in profit once you're there. Now, moving on to render. So this one, tricky chart because originally I was looking for the head and shoulders to sort of break down at the end of October, November. We had the rally in October. As it was for crypto, which I wasn't shocked to see, and then I kind of felt it was going to roll over, just be another lower high, and not breach $3. That did not play out. So we moved to the upside, head and shoulders, got invalid. So what are we potentially looking at here for render? Because I still think that this price is going to exhaust soon and probably not continue up. And I think there's a decent chance that this one could also roll over. Reassessed the chart again. It still looks very corrective. There's three waves here, there's three waves there, there's another three waves there, there's another three waves there, and then potentially another three waves up here. So could this kind of be just some kind of corrective diagonal pattern? Of course, when we get Savage back on the show from his works project, he'll hopefully be back soon. He could take a look at that for us. He's got a better idea of the Elliott waves certainly than I have. But that's kind of how it looks to me. It still looks corrective. I don't believe that render is completely in a new bull market going to new all-time highs. It's got a chance. Something like INJ, that's kind of how INJ played out. Maybe the bottom's in for INJ. Your odds of getting like $2 INJ again. Again, like I said, my initial target for Ender was to come back below $1. It may not play out. You may be bullish on render. People may be, holding bags on render, and this was a good, accumulation phase to get in, or even potentially on this pullback. We did get a great trade originally from the high down to I think it was around about $1.30 when I closed that first trade. I had on render again, tried to get back in here for the head and shoulders to play out. Stopped out. That one didn't play out. So I haven't taken this trade again. Obviously, just came up with the idea for the community members. But again, I think there's potentially decent risk reward there. But you've got to have a sensible stop loss using all that good risk management if you are short in this market. Now, I wanted to take a look at a couple of key charts as well on the macro, which wanted to reassess again because I was, potentially wrong on these two. One I was definitely wrong on for now is the Nasdaq. Always good to look at charts that you had a primary idea on and got wrong. See a lot of channels get things wrong, you never hear it about it again, and they just move on to talking about something else. Don't do that here at Crypto Rosetta. I'm always, happy to hold my hand up and say, yeah, I got this. I got this one wrong for you guys. Uh, or for myself because that's who I'm doing it for. I'm trying to just analyze this as best as I can, as anyone else is. So now got a higher high on the Nasdaq, a bit of a breakout here, but we still haven't taken out the all-time high. goes without saying, have to just literally tell it how it is. The odds of seeing, a new all-time high now on the Nasdaq has, of course, greatly increased, and I am now open to that possibility where I didn't kind of expect it. I still think there's a potential for that to, play out now. I thought this was initially going to be some kind of, descending resistance. Obviously, that's now been taken out. So, are we gonna, find a high and then roll over before we match, even looking for a double top or set new all-time highs on the Nasdaq? I'm not sure, but it's going to be key days now to see where we uh, bounce from here. It's possible that we could roll over. The trend line could maybe hold and then use that as support and then springboard to new all-time highs. Now, if the Nasdaq goes to new all-time highs, does that mean we're going to get super bullish here? It means we'd, of course, be bullish, but it could be very short in terms of how long it lasts. Reason I say that, because there's still the potential of a free wave crash here, and that's why I've not taken it off as the AI bubble crash. Again, as you guys know, with Elliott-wave, if it's just a free wave correction, you can get that overshooting B wave. That overshooting B wave could actually be a new all-time high on the Nasdaq, and then still crash down to these sort of 10k and below targets. So that is, one possibility on my mind. But we're getting, bull moon posts again saying, this Nasdaq's going up all the way up here to 25,000. I don't think that's going to happen, guys. Again, if you think that's going to happen, leave us a comment below. Love to hear why. But if we get new all-time highs on this Nasdaq, I think the potential upside now is not great. So where this currently is, it's not really a trade for me at the moment. If I was shorting, I kind of want to see if it's going to get to that new high or go higher. But if I'm long here, I'm really not sure on the potential upside gains here. I think there's better potential upside elsewhere. When I still think that there's long term, a great amount of potential downside. So whereas we had the initial high back in November 21, and then you could kind of see it chopped, and then it started to roll. This was a good, short entry as long as gains were taken down here. What I'd be looking at is the same kind of thing now. Are we going to find another top, chop sideways and drop down? Now, moving on, lastly, I wanted to talk about gold. Again, one potentially could be wrong on. I did have initial bearish scenario plan for this one. The main target still being 1550 to 1440. It's not invalidated yet. But, last time I talked about gold, I did say, guys, again, we got free wave correction here. Now, I don't know if this is an A wave of three waves down, of which we this where we are currently should start to roll. However, probability of that has decreased now. This could actually be a B wave to the upside, and now we're looking for the C wave to new all-time highs. Reason I'm saying that is because we've crossed back above $2,000 on gold, so that increases our probability. So first target now, if we continue to the upside, should be that sort of top of around about 2,085. Again, we were looking for triple top potential rejections play out. Did say that of course there was a decreased probability of a triple than a double. That's the way it works. Is a quadruple top possible? Of course, it's absolutely possible. There are, charts, patterns where it does happen, but it, is extremely rare. So I'm not kind of expecting a quadruple rejection, but there will be some resistance. Once it gets there, once we carry to the upside. Still need to cross above 2100 and consolidate to finally invalidate this bearish scenario, in my opinion. So still a little bit boring on gold, but it's kind of, still kind of trickling to the upside. But why do I think this is pumping? Because this is more the story here. I think, still a lot of smart money going into gold because there is concern about where the likes of the S&P 500, where the likes of the NASDAQ are. Then psychologically, it's almost like the market doesn't know where to go. It's almost like the bears aren't in control here. The bulls have, got us back up there, but there's still that major resistance in the markets, and those new all-time highs aren't hit yet. So this is why the end of Q4 this year, I think, is going to be, really, really big, and also Q1 into 2024. I do think it's going to be a huge period for crypto. I've always said by the end of Q1 2024, I do believe that we will know if a bull market is confirmed on crypto, or if it turns out we are potentially heading to lower lows if we've not already reached those targets. We've already seen that breakdown on the distribution on Bitcoin. So if anyone's saving out there, if anyone's unsure whether they should be throwing their money into the market yet, I still think you've got, great potential to wait to see if we start to roll over. And if we don't, and the bull market's confirmed, there's going to be so many gains ahead. I don't think you've, missed out on multiple X's. Yes, one or two or three coins here and there may have gone early, but there's going to be other opportunities, in my opinion. Let us know what you think. Leave us a comment below. I'll see you again.